apathy. It's a piece.
Apathy.
A piece.
Apathy.
It's a piece. Apathy.
A piece. A piece.
Apathy.
It's apathy.
Hello, everybody. Where's my towel? Ooh, there it is. How you guys doing? I hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining me. It's Vinny's Tuesday. I'm going to take these earplugs out. I don't like the way it sounds. I wear these little earplugs. They're kind of like swimming plugs. They take some of the top end off, but they didn't do a good job because my hearing's kind of shot. I got the closed caption on every TV in this house. Hey, that's better. Sounds better. They were too far in the ear. But it's a good idea to wear ear protection. You can get them made. You can get special ones made, especially if you're using monitors and even just practicing. Hitting these cymbals go direct hit into your ear. So is this one. Two direct hits. So anyway, that's what I wear, but it has helped. It's better than without it. And we just got back from a big extravaganza thing. It was kind of a musical extravaganza. That's the name of it, but it was in Boxborough, Massachusetts, which I'd never been there before. And it was a lot of fun, and met a lot of people there. And the East Coast is always a little different. I'm on the West Coast, but I had a good time, and we did pretty good as far as selling stuff. And what it's all about is people go in there and they want autographs, And it was me, Rex Smith, who's, he's a singer, he's an actor, he's almost an opera singer. It's amazing. I haven't seen Rex in years. I mean, when was it? 1976 when I toured with Derringer. By the way, those two songs were from Derringer. I'll tell you about those two songs I played in a minute. And so Rex Smith was there. I haven't seen him since that time, and he was really cool. It was fun to hang out. And he actually rearranged his hotel furniture, which I thought was fantastic, because I'm always changing rooms and stuff. But this hotel had a furniture arranged. The bed's here, the TV's there, and then there's a couch there, so you can't see the TV. And then there's a desk here, so you can't see the TV if you want to watch TV or something. So he arranged it. He pulled the couch over here, so you got a fitted sheet, so it was clean, and you can watch TV. But he also had him come in and vacuum, which is a cool idea, because you never know what's behind the couch, And he moved the desk over there, so it's pretty funny. And then Sherry Curry from the Runaways, she was there. I got to know her on a lot of these events. Okay, so Sherry Curry, and she actually sang a couple of songs on Saturday night, and it was a good time. Who else was there? That was the main thing, and then a guitar player that played with Joe Perry in the Joe Perry Project, of course, because we're in Boston. It's got to have. He had a big Aerosmith booth, so there was lots of stuff there, lots of nostalgia stuff. Some guy made me. Where is it? I mean, I don't know. It looks like me, but then it doesn't look like. Well, I don't know what it looks like. It was generous on the hair. I think I look like I'm in some Spartacus movie or some Avenger movie or something. This is a caricature. Check it out. Holy shit! I look a little better than that. I mean, that's That's almost scary. So that was cool. But good job on it anyway. And he gave me a copy of it, which was nice. And the other thing, which I love, is this. I found this and only this. Let me grab it over here. This is like show and tell. Remember show and tell in school? This is an old drum piece. Check out this thing. When I saw this, I said, I got to have this. It's called the Hercules Jazz Band. It's missing two things. This is what it is. It's old. It's from the 30s. Look at that thing. You turn it around. It's got a snare drum there. Sounds pretty good. And turn it around, and the front's got the head on it. What a fantastic piece. So this is, I was hoping there was more of this kind of stuff, you know, but I convinced this guy, John, at the end of the room, man, I got to have that, you know, sell it to me. So, yeah, it's got one snare. There's supposed to be of course, cowbell here. So you need more cowbell. And then there's a cymbal missing on the top, but what the heck? How old is this thing? From the 30s. You know, something's got to be missing. I'm going to put it there so I don't destroy it. I bet it sounds pretty good. Maybe I'll mic it up and play it with my fingers. Yeah, so it was a good time, and we just got back last night, and we're leaving again tomorrow, very early in the morning, 7:30 a.m. flight, to go to the 3 Last in Line shows that we have booked until after the summer. Then we continue in September because Vivian's going out with Def Leppard and the Motley Crue tour. So we're on a bit of a hiatus. I might be doing some gigs with Carmine. I'll be doing the show, and I'll be doing a couple other projects that I'm in the middle of too. So we're playing on the 13th, which is what's today? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 13th in Franklin, Ohio, with Last in Line, and then on the 14th we move to Portage, Indiana, and you want to know well, let me give you the third one on the 15th is Des Plaines, Illinois. Des Plaines, the pain, it hurts. That's what it sounds like. Oh, this stick is starting to, you can feel it when the stick's going to go. Yeah, I can feel it. So the 13th, Franklin, Ohio. The 14th, Portage, Indiana. And the 15th, Des Plaines, Illinois. So we'll be playing there with Last in Line. And come on down. We got VIPs available. We got T-shirts, but not this one. This is the Drum Monster T-shirt you can get online here or on my website. And we also have not many of these left. These sold really good. This is a Drum Monster Drumhead. And that's a 12-inch head. I feel like that the guy sells My Pillow. Order now, and you can get a rough triplet. So, yeah. So that's what we're doing. And those of you who think, and there's a lot of people who think, wow, what a life you musicians got. You get to see things. You go everywhere, blah, blah, blah. Well, yesterday we were on a 6-hour flight. I didn't know it took 6 hours from Boston to San Diego. You know, I think there was a lot of headwinds because the plane was like bumpy for half the flight. So it must have been a lot of headwinds because 6 hours, man. You can almost fly to England from New York, 7+ hours. I don't know why it took so long. I tried to tell him, hurry up! My ass is killing me. All right, so 6-hour flight. We get in, drive all the way home, basically wash our clothes and all that stuff. Then today, do a couple of things, get ready for the show, and then tomorrow get up at probably 4 in the morning to catch a 7:30 flight back in San Diego. So it's a crazy life. That's why you got to be passionate about music and be willing to do these crazy, crazy things, you know. And I think I could still do this fine because I never stopped. You know, I'm still going from 1976. Like, it's crazy. But anyway, those songs that I played to were from the Derringer first album, which came out in 1976. It was Danny Johnson on guitar, who played with me in Axis. Of course, Rick Derringer on guitar. Kenny Aronson on bass, excellent bass player, and me. And Rick produced that album. So the drums are a bit on the thin side, you know. We didn't have that big room sound or some bottom end, you know. I didn't know. That was basically my first album recording, and I didn't know, well, what do you do for drum sound? I just tuned them, you know, and they were tuned higher than these. These are pretty tuned right in the middle. You got a lot of bottom end, a lot of attack. And so that album, you know, I just went in, and I think those were just concert tom, meaning they just had one head on the top. That was it. So there wasn't a lot of bottom end on that, or room sound on that album. But it's a great album, a lot of punch. There's a song called Beyond the Universe that's really fast and insane. And a lot of people mentioned it at the show, and I thought, wow, how cool. That album's really old, you know. But one cool thing on there on One Eye Jack was the second song. There's a fill there that's kind of backwards. I did that instead of... Goes from up to down. I don't know where I got that from, but I did get it from somewhere. I did it on a couple times on that album, 2 songs. I think it was on Beyond the Universe too. It's hard because you're getting up here, I'm ending on the right, and then coming in with the beat again with the right. So there's a couple of good things on there. And then the guitar, it's a cool Sailor. The song before that was written by Danny Johnson and the same band. And you could hear the guitar battles going on between Rick and Danny. They did trade-offs, and then the last one, which is maybe double the length, is both of them playing crazy. So that's what I played too. And one more thing about the, freaked me out about this thing, the event I just did, you know, fans are coming up and I'm meeting them, and everybody's really, really nice and such great fans that listen to the Mob Rules and the Holy Diver and all the albums I did and followed me on the career of mine. One lady came up and she's freaking out. She's crying. Oh, Vinny, she's shaking and, oh, look. I'm like, oh, my God. Me? I appreciate that. Wow. That's I grabbed her, hugged her and stuff. And she was just freaked out to meet me. Me? I don't know. The guy who plays with toys. I always say this to everybody because a lot of people came up and go, man, those albums, man, you got me through this. Got some of this music, and music in general gets people through hard times. It gets people through sad times, depressed times, happy times. But when we go in and record this stuff, we're not sitting in there going, hey, let's write something that makes people feel happy if they're feeling sad. We just go in and do our job as this is our job. Let's create some music. Let's build a song and write a song together, and put all our heart into it. And that's what happens. So we don't really know the actual effect of the music we make, and then you find out, wow, these people are really freaked out with this stuff. It really helped them out. So, and across the world too. So that's pretty amazing, I even had a story where not recently a soldier from Iraq told me that when they went over to Iraq and they took over Saddam Hussein's palace, right? He says, your picture's up in Saddam Hussein's palace. And I went, what? Was it on a wanted poster or something? How's that? And it was when they took it over, they started putting all Sabbath posters and AC/DC and Zepp, and played the music on they had Ghetto Blaster, and so to rock out. So that's pretty amazing. I'll show you a couple things real quick, and then we're going to take your questions because Lala Lollipop is here. Hi, Lala.
Hello.
I know you want to turn around and say hi to me, but the microphone's...
I know. I have to remember that.
You got to get used to that. Microphone's over there. Yeah. Anyway, I also like to thank Sawtooth for putting this together and supporting this. I love doing this every week. I think we have a lot of viewers, as it stays on for a week or so, or 2 weeks. And these drums, just want to tell you quick, these are the hickory drums, the 6-ply shell construction, pure hickory, no filler, no fat, low cholesterol. They sound great. And this is a great finish. It looks red with the red light on it, but it's more of a brown, chocolatey, here we go again, brownie, chocolate cake, Hershey syrup color, okay? And the 6-ply, and it's got a great balance. You could hear the attack. Sorry, baby. And the sizes are, this is a 10, 12, no, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Except this is a 16. My mind was going somewhere else. Sorry. 16, 18. So we got 10, 12, 13, 14, 16, 18. Bass drums 24 by 14. And these drums have die-cast hoops, 3.0 millimeter, so it's strong, consistent, and there's no weak points in it. And they're all die-cast steel lugs that are on these drums. They sound great. I'm using them now on the East Coast. I got a kit on the East Coast. I'll be using them at these 3 gigs coming up. And I love these drums. Before that, I was using the Sawtooth Command Series, which is more of a value kit. And those drums sounded great. And I used those for a couple of years. And I used them in the studio. I used them on tour, and they're great. So check out all the stuff here. There's, I think, a coupon to get 20% off something. So check it out. And real quick, too, before I show you something, we went to the store, the grocery store. We're leaving early tomorrow, so I wanted to get a banana, right? I said, should we get a banana? Let's get a banana. So I got a banana, kind of green. And I went to pay for it in the self-serve thing. So I look up banana. Then it says, please place your banana on the scale. I looked at Lala. I went, wants me to place my banana on the scale. That's not healthy for anybody. People put their food on there. I don't want to put my banana on there. Good thing I didn't buy a couple of peaches. Please place your peaches and banana on the scale. Okay. Okay, I've been getting a lot of emails about the bass drum, right? I use one bass drum, always has. Never really used 2 bass drums. So, my foot's pretty fast. So I'm going to show you a couple exercises. You know, you all heard the triplet beat. You know, and to get that beat down, you want to practice this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. See, and the most important thing with drums, I always say this, is to play it steady. You know, so you start slow. Even that tempo is even. See, it's nice and steady. And then when you get it down, then you can get faster, okay? And you got to put the snare in now to make it a beat. So you got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and see? It's a little slower. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you got this. Faster. Okay, so that's the triplet beat. And once again, steady. And the way to practice anything is to play it long as possible. Because when you do it, you know, you go, okay, I think I got it. Okay, I got it. That doesn't do anything. It's too short. You want to do it as many times as possible. Even in the old books, I mentioned this before too. It says practice each exercise 20 times. And there's a reason for that. So that's one exercise. Another exercise is just this. Left, right, bass drum. It's like 1 E and 2 E and a bunch of 16th notes. 1 E and 2 E and nice and steady. See, you get it steady, then you can get faster. Then I make a transition. The transition is a little bit different pattern without it breaking up or getting sloppy. So here's the first one is left, right, foot, left. Now I go to right, left, right, left, back, left, right, right. So you got. See, again, slow, steady, long, and then you can go faster as you get it. Another beat that I use is a little bit more, it's a little faster than the triplet beat. And this is, I'm taking the same 16th notes, right, left. 1 E and 2 E, and so now I'm on the hi-hat. Right, left, right. Okay, so you got hi-hat, snare, foot, foot. So that's the exercise. So then you can start playing with that. That's another cool beat. So you got the triplet beat. Then you got the 16th note beat. And then you got these exercises on the toms and the snare. Left, right, foot, foot. Then right, left. those exercises, and I guarantee you practice those for a long time, your foot's going to get faster. The other thing, too, is my pedals the spring is really tight, and the bass drum is not really dead. You can hear the tone, the ring. So the pedal being tight and the footboard's up midway, I got a lot of power, and I got a lot of response, or rebound from the pedal. I can almost hit it once, and it's coming back quick, so I can hit it twice. That's a good exercise, too. Yeah, that's cool. All right, so that's a little bit of bass drum speeding, bass drum developing, foot development, whatever you want to call it. Let's take some questions. Lala's here
Hello.
again.
I'm here
Yeah.
again.
Did you have fun at the event?
Yeah, it was very fun. Everybody was very nice.
How about that woman that was crying,
Oh,
that was
she was
shaking?
hysterical. It was funny. She was shaking.
I know, it's
I couldn't
unbelievable.
believe it. She's very nice.
Yeah, she was sweet.
Yeah.
Everybody was so cool there. We got some great fans and Sabbath and Dio still live on. It's just amazing. Really cool. Okay, let's take a question from you guys.
How is the project with Joel Holstra doing?
The project with Joel Holstra is doing fine. I started a couple of weeks ago, and I put down one song. What he sends me is just guitar in the format of a song, structure of a song. And I'll listen to it and get into it, and I'll play it a couple of times, test it out, and then when I know the song a little bit, I'll lay it down, and then I send it to Joel. It's a little hard without the bass and vocal, obviously, especially the bass. So, but I know what it should sound like with just guitar and drums because I've been doing this for a long time. And I send it to him, then he listens to it and says, man, this is killer. Or maybe you could change this one part, because one part I went to a halftime to try and, it was a fast song and change it up, and I was doing some Tom thing, but he wanted it full time. So he sends me a comment back, okay, no problem, because, with Pro Tools and Cubase, as long as you don't touch everything and move everything, you can come in the next day, let me punch in that part. And I made sure I took that snare drum off and used another snare drum for the show that week. Then when he wanted me to punch in, I put the snare drum back, and you can't tell. So that's going good. I did 2 songs so far, and then we had a rock fantasy camp with Joel. So we were at that, and then I had to go do this event, and now I'm going with Last in Line. So when I come back from Last in Line on Easter, that's another thing. We come back on Easter. If you celebrate Easter and you're a musician, that's what happens. Ronnie and I used to spend Thanksgiving in England, and they never really made turkey dinners. But they tried to make one for us because we had in-house cooks, because we lived at the studio. And it was pretty good. It lacked a couple of things. So anyway, that's where it's at. 2 songs, and there's about 9 more, 10 more to go. So when I come back next week, I'll start again. All right, next question.
Talk about the kick-ass fill right before the fade on Rainbow in the Dark. Almost sounds like a double bass with crashes on it.
The kick-ass fill, which one is that?
Right.
I don't know which one it is. I don't know what it is. I have to listen to it. But again, it's probably all these patterns with the double foot. It's things like that's in there. And the thing with Rainbow in the Dark, that beat, I put that double kick thing in that happens twice. And I see a lot of guys playing it, and girls, but don't do that. Play through it, and then you have this. Now here's the way I play it. So unfortunately, I'd have to listen to the fill that you're talking about, but it's probably based on that kind of stuff there. Okay, next question.
Have you ever played "It's Too Late" from the Dehumanizer live?
Dehumanizer. It's too late.
Is that the name of the song?
I don't think there's a song called "It's Too Late."
That's what I saw in there, but maybe I misread it.
Okay, let's skip that one for now.
Okay. How tight are your snares?
My snares. Well, my snares are pretty tight. I was going to put my banana on the scale before, but so it's very tight. No, I'm kidding. My snares are loose. Hear how loose they are? If they were tight, it would sound like very loose. And the reason why is because I play hard. I play with the butt end too, and when I hit it hard, it really comes out. The snares is screaming. I don't want to choke the snare. If the snares were really tight and I'm playing hard, it might sound a little choked. Hold your ears, la la. Okay, I'm hitting it hard. It's got a good tone. When you hit it hard, when the snares are loose, it doesn't sound loose. It just sounds big. It's more of a note. See, playing lightly. So even when you're playing, the note's longer because there's a little bit of a rattle in it. You know, it's not just a pop. So that's so my snares are fairly loose. I mean, I'm hitting it lightly, and I can just hear them. So that's where I know I like them. They're not completely off, but they're really right, low middle of it, you know. Okay, next one.
When is the Last in Line EP going to be released?
The Last in Line EP is going to be released, I think, probably maybe in September. They're talking about. We just got new management in place, and we're starting to make a schedule. We never make a schedule. So we will have that thing out September, October. And then the album's going to come out at the beginning of the year. And then, so we're doing this right, you know, with some scheduling and planning. So keep an eye out. It's going to be good. Really sounds great. Okay.
What is the name of the Derringer album you're on?
That Derringer album is called Derringer. Derringer. And the second album is called Sweet Evil, produced by Jack Douglas. And the third album is a Derringer Live album. Crazy stuff there. All right, let's take one more question. Then we're going to go and eat and get the rest of our stuff packed because we got to leave early in the morning. Yeah. Another flight going back to almost where we came from.
I know.
Stupid sometimes, you know. But I'm still loving it. I love playing. I love doing all this stuff, and it's fun. So thanks you guys for listening. Okay, one more question.
When is Lala going to do a dueling drum solo with you?
Well, I'll tell you what. We're going to have time when we get back to we'll make a video.
Okay.
Lala's going to play, and then I'm going to play. We'll do a battle, okay?
Okay.
And then we'll put it up here, and you guys could judge it and see who wins. She'll probably win, you know. You never really seen her play really full up. Thank you guys for joining me, and I'll be back next week, and hopefully we'll see some of you guys at these gigs. And thank you, Sawtooth. These are the Hickory drums. Check them out. They sound great, and loved playing them. And the skins are G2s, Evans, and cymbals are Sabian double A's. Big rock stuff here, okay? Anyway, thank you guys. See you next week.